Lawin Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawin Media Network.
Hello. Good morning, Dr. Nildz.
Good morning,
United States. Happy Independence Day and good evening dyan sa Pilipinas. How are you, Dr. Nildz?
I'm good. So before anything else, let me greet magandang araw, magandang gabi, good day, and heartfelt welcome to our listeners and viewers in the Philippines and the United States, which we are celebrating the 250th Independence Day. And of course, wherever you are around the world, welcome to Teacher Talk Live with Chikahan with Ma'am Cora and Dr. Nildz, your global community where educators connect, stories inspired, and meaningful conversations spark new ideas. So whether you're a teacher, school leader, education advocate, parent, or a lifelong learner, you've found a place where your voice matters and your journey is celebrated. So each episode brings together remarkable educators, visionary leaders, and passionate change makers who generously share their experiences, practical insights, and lessons learned. Together, we explore the joys and challenges of teaching, discover innovative practices, celebrate success, and learn how education continues to transform lives and communities. At Teacher Talk, we believe that every educator has a story worth telling, every challenge is an opportunity to grow, and every conversation has the power to inspire positive change.
So, wherever you are enjoying today, come and join us wherever you are, from the classroom, your office, or anywhere across the world. We invite you to sit back, engage with us, and become part of our growing Teacher Talk family. Together, let's build bridges across cultures, strengthen professional connections, and continue empowering educators one conversation, one story, and one teacher at a time. Dr. Nildz.
So I am Dr. Nildz.
I'm Mom Cora.
Welcome
To Teacher Talk
Live
with Mom Cora
and Dr. Nildz. So let's begin. Mom Cora.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
What is going on? How was life with you? Before we introduce our guest today, we are so formal. Let's loosen it up. What was how was your day yesterday? I thought you went on a road trip, right?
Yes. Well, this past weeks are very hectic schedule. Like, remember, I attended this in-depth training for the National Constitution Center.
Wow.
I got a scholarship there, and I was, fortunate and blessed enough to attend. So an in-depth study, and which is very timely because we are celebrating our 250th anniversary here in the United States. So
yeah,
this is where our founders celebrate. So that's it. And then went to Texas, kind of having some professional training. And then last week, this week, yeah, Monday to until yesterday, we have a long, I will say this is a fellowship or kind of bonding between my husband and I. So we attended a summer family Bible conference down there in Woodland Park, Colorado. And that was really very enlightening. And we thank you all the people that we met. And the ministry is so good, Charis Bible
Wow.
College. Yes.
Niels, that's a good way to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our
Yes.
independence here in the United States. You know what? In Houston today, we're going to have a huge celebration with fireworks with Freedom to Texas, and it's going to be a huge event tonight. And the highlight, it's the fireworks that usually we do it during the independence anniversary, and all day there will be a concert. I don't know how are they going to sustain this because of the heat of the sun. It's
Yes.
98 degrees here in Houston, so there you go. Filipinas, this is what is going on here in United States. Within the area of Texas, we're good. However, in New York, they are so excited today because aside from the celebration, the 250th anniversary, they're also ano lang to ha, side comment. This is also the wedding of, Taylor Swift. Are you invited, Dr. Nildz? How I wish we are invited. Well, anyway, let's
You
go
are
now and move on with our objectives for today. Dr.
okay.
Neil,
So
our
before
theme
that,
for today is
yes.
in professional ethics and social graces, building trust, respect, and meaningful connection in education. That's our theme.
Yes, and of course we have our topic, which is
Mhm.
integrity, lead with grace, the art of professional relationships. So this is what we're going to be talking about. And of course, as a teacher, we always make sure that we have objectives. And Mom Cora will start with that.
Yes, and with this, our distinguished guest for today will focus on this type of objectives, okay? So, we are going to examine the core ethical principles educator must follow, including integrity, fairness, confidentiality, and responsible use of authority, and explore real world scenarios where these standards are tested.
Of course, we also going to highlight how educators demonstrate professionalism through communication, decision making, punctuality, accountability, and of course, respectful interactions with students, colleagues, and parents.
We invited distinguished guests that will really break down essential social graces such as courtesy, empathy, active listening, and cultural sensitivity, showing how these behaviors shape a positive learning environment.
And of course, at the same time, this is very important. We have to address ethical and courteous behavior in digital spaces, which is, nowadays, this is what we're doing. Okay, which include email tone, social media boundaries, online professionalism, and protecting student privacy in virtual learning.
That is very, very, what is this? Important and essential in our profession. Okay, but last but not the least, explore how ethical behavior and refined social graces help educators cultivate trust, strengthen school culture, and foster collaborative relationship with families and wider communities. So there you go, friends, and our dear educators and professional out there here in the United States, around the world, and in the Philippines. These are the focus of our discussion for today.
Wow, that's a lot. And because of this, I think this is very timely, especially with everything that's going on around us. We need this professional ethics. Okay. So
That's
without
right.
much further ado, I think we need to go on and introduce our lovely guest.
Yes, there you go. We are so honored and lucky today because we had the best of our you know, people who really engage and who are willing to help us break down all of this. They help us do what is best for professionals like us. Okay, so I will introduce to you our very good friend. I'm gonna call her by her name first, and then I will introduce her to her new position. Okay, so Paula Harvey is the Vice President of Human Resources to Scuttle Building Systems in Hockley. Did I say that? Hockley, Texas. She has 36 years experience on human resources generalist. She earned her Bachelor of Business in Administration in International Marketing and Operation Management from the University of Texas, Austin. She also earned her Master in Business Administration with a concentration on human resources management. Okay, from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. She is a senior global certified professional human resources through the Society of Human Resources Management and Human Resources Certification Institute. Okay. She is an internationally recognized speaker on global and strategic business issues and teaches at Rice University. She has published articles on human resources topic and co-authored 3 books in other human resources professionals. She is an active member of the Society for Human Resources Management, serving as one of the board of directors and a team A member. Now, I will introduce her in a more, religious way. So Paula Harvey is recently ordained as deacon of the Episcopal Church. Paula is a lifetime Episcopalian. So we will address her as Reverend Deacon Paula Harvey. Okay. She has been assigned to St. Cuthbert and will start on August 2nd. Reverend Deacon Paula has served as a senior warden, vestry member, and a licensed ecumenical minister, altar guild, Sunday school superintendent, choir member, and is a member of the Order of the Daughters of the King. She attended the school, attended the Iona School of Ministry, and graduated last week. Congratulations, Deacon Paula. Okay. For now, she is a part-time instructor as a human resource at Rice University. Paula, or Reverend Deacon Paula, is an avid reader and loves to travel. Deacon and her husband, Kenneth, have a blended family of 5 adults, children, and spouses, 11 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, and 1 great on the way. An empty nester, they enjoy their 2 cats, Shadow and Molly. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Reverend Deacon Paula Harvey. Welcome, Rev.
Oh, well, thank you.
I hope I gave justice to your credentials.
It's sometimes embarrassing, but yes.
Where are you right now,
I'm
Rev?
actually in Charlotte. I do have my home in Houston, Texas, but I have a home in Charlotte, which I will eventually retire to in about 6 years. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I'm here in my home here. So, and celebrating with my twins for the 4th of July. So, big party this afternoon, and
Oh,
then
wow.
fireworks in downtown Charlotte. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Rev.
Well, yeah. So welcome, Reverend Harvey, and congratulations for that honor that you just, received. God is good all the time.
Yeah. 1 week in. Only 1 week.
Yes. So anyway, again, we thank you for our guest, and we would like to introduce our next guest. So the next one, our guest today is a passionate educator, communication expert, and a professional development coach with more than 3 decades of experience in education, leadership, and training. So Miss Mildred de Guzman San Agustin earned her bachelor's degree in education, majoring in English and literature from St. Scholastica College in Manila, Philippines, and pursued her graduate study in English language education at De La Salle University. Over her distinguished career, she has served as a teacher, college professor, academic leader, and a college chancellor, inspiring students and educators across the Philippines. She is now a sought after trainer, facilitator, and communication coach who works with schools, corporations, and government schools. Her area of expertise includes public speaking,
Wow.
professional communication, leadership development, customer relations, and personality development all in one. So she's really versatile. So known to many as Coach Mildred or Miss D, the 50 something teacher of ours continues to empower learners and professionals to communicate with confidence, lead with purpose, and pursue excellence. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving a warm teacher talk welcome to our distinguished guest, Coach Miss Mildred de Guzman San Agustin.
Yay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you guys, and happy 4th of July to you. Welcome from the Philippines. It's my
Very
10 p.m. here.
thank you so much, Miss Mildred. Thank you. And I know you are going through a lot of challenges, but we are blessed that you,
Yes,
and in spite of the time, range that we have, you come and join us. Thank you. So,
you're
Ma'am
welcome,
Cora.
Miss Neil. Yes, I will have to acknowledge that one because yeah, my mother-in-law passed away morning of Philippine time, but
Oh,
this is professionalism. I said yes to Miss Cora's invitation as early as when I was taking care of her in the hospital. But yeah, my mother-in-law would understand. She would love me to do this. So I dedicate this also to her. So I hope she will be with us in our podcast this evening. Hello also, Reverend Deacon
So
Paula.
prayers to you and your family during this time.
Thank
Okay.
you, Miss Paula.
Yeah.
yeah. Ma'am
So
Cora,
probably, Rev, we could have a short prayer before we end today
yes.
for her mother-in-law. Is that possible? I'm sorry.
Sure, sure.
Mildred, what is your mother-in-law's name?
Her name is Yolanda Martha.
Okay.
Yolanda Martha, yeah.
All right,
She was
dear
born
Heavenly.
on the feast of Saint Martha, July 29.
Oh, that's awesome.
You do
Yes.
that
Well, dear
later.
Heavenly Father, please bless the family of Yolanda Martha. We know she is in a much better place. We know that
She
she's
is.
looking down on us as we are talking about professional ethics and all the important things for educators in this world. And
Yes.
we lift up her family as they have the sorrow of missing such a wonderful lady. but we know that she is with our God and that she will look down on us as we are talking today. In Jesus' name we
Amen.
pray. Amen.
Amen.
Wow. Thank
Thank you
you,
very
Rev.
much,
Thank
Rev.
you. Okay, that's a good thing to start. No, we are sticking on our professional ethics, and we are believing that the presence of the Lord, and He is with us today. So let us now move on and focus on our objectives and our theme for today, which is professional ethics and social graces, building trust, respect, and meaningful connections in education. With that in line, I would like to start it, and we want to put you in this conversation with our first questions. For both of you, Mildred, you could start. What does professional ethic means to you as an educator, and why is it important to us in today's school environment?
Um, First of all, when you talk about professional ethics for teachers, the first thing that comes to mind really is I was taken back to when I was in college. I guess all of us teachers had professional ethics for teachers. Like when I was taking that subject, I really had to take it seriously because I said to be a teacher is a kind of profession that is so different. Noble as they would say, it's a cliche, but when I think about it, this is the only profession that we share with Jesus, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
this is the only thing that we share with Jesus. Like Jesus himself is a teacher, so we are filling up a big shoe in that sense. So um, when first of all, it's not something that I like. I think Miss Cora knows that because we have been friends for many years. I've so wanted to be a broadcast journalist. I wanted to be in the media, but my father would say, "No, it's not the kind of profession. Well, at least in the Philippines, it's not for women in the sense that you will not forever be 16, anak. I mean, my dear, you will not be forever 16. You will have family, etc. So the best way to go is to be a teacher, and I guess the closest is English. But I realized that, oh, but it's such a big shoe to fill. But to be professional it entails a lot of responsibility. It entails a lot of accountability. And why is it important? Because especially in our society now, or in our schools these days, we have to we have to be professional. We have to have these ethics because we are dealing with children. We are dealing with pupils, with young minds. And I think we as teachers, we are the heart of the classroom. And we will serve as model to them. So I guess having this kind of a principle, having this kind of standards that we follow, will somehow also create we will be able to really bring about some kind of students. We will be able to create students who will be lifelong learners. So yeah, for me, that's it. Professional ethics is setting an example.
Right. You're right. You hit it right there. Uh, with all of this example, we as teachers should be the first one to be in line on that one, because we are
Mhm.
touching the morality, the character and behavior of our students. Right now, let us hear it from the perspective of Reverend Deacon Paula. How is it to you? Uh,
Um, yeah, I had some time to think about this. Not that long, but really. But this was I have been a teacher since the early '90s
Mhm.
and a college professor since 2001. And so, to me, professional ethics as an educator means living out a clear set of moral commitments in how I teach, how I
Mhm.
speak, how I make decisions, and how I relate to students, to the families, even to my colleagues, and to the broader community. It is not just about following rules. It is about
Mhm.
asking, what kind of person do I want to be in this role?
Right.
and then acting in ways that honor the trust that's placed in me as an educator. So professional ethics includes to me some certain things, and I wrote these down, so I'm going to try to hopefully get this right. It's respect for the student's dignity. You teach to the whole person, their strengths, their needs, and you tell them stories that are worth hearing that they can use in their everyday lives. You have to also use confidentiality. Sensitive information happens when you're teaching. They may share things about themselves and things that you need to understand the confidentiality of that. You have to also use accountability. If you make a mistake, own it and say,
Yes.
I am sorry, and then respect them. And then also, when they make a mistake, kindly and constructively give them feedback on that. And then you must use fairness and integrity. You've got to give credit when it's due. Evaluate students impartially. You can't have teachers' pets, as we've known of those. You have to have no double standards. And then finally, because I speak 8 languages, I've traveled all to 57 countries, I think I'm up to right now. And, I visited 50 of 50 states. I consider myself a globalist, a person with a global mindset. And Philippines is on my list. It's on my bucket list. We're going to have to do this in the future. We'll talk about Cora some more because that's something I really wanted to visit. It's there.
Mm-mm.
But cultural responsiveness is really important because we teach a broad spectrum of people from all over the world, from all other inside and outside different perspectives. And we just need to recognize those diverse backgrounds and experiences and adjust. I need to adjust myself to understand their values, their cultures, and make them feel valued and included. I really believe in inclusion as an HR professional, and that really is the important thing, because we understand in today's schools environments, trust is very fragile and it's essential. We are trusted with children's lives, and in my case, adult lives, and you can do damage and you can cause trauma if you are not careful with what you do, say, and how you teach things. Conditions these days are so complex, so polarized, and there's a lot of high pressure to get things done and follow rules. And I know the school systems because I served on PTSA for many, many years. I like doing the treasury. And then, like I said, diversity, inclusion are central with you do that. And you got to understand with the digital and social pressures going, it's growing. We have to embrace technology as educators. I just got a certification on AI plus, it's called AI plus HI. So artificial intelligence plus human intelligence. You've got to use that stuff. But remember, humans are driving it. Artificial intelligence is a tool, just like a cell phone's a tool, just like all the internet stuff is a tool. And then educators, finally, what I'd like to say is that educators must model good citizenship. You can't ask somebody to do something if you're not going to be a model of doing the right things.
That's right. Before Dr. Nildz would give you the second question, I would just like to piggyback on words that resonates to me. Rev, I have heard you say cultural responsiveness, right? And this is really a big thing here in Houston because we are so diverse that we deal with a lot of cultural identities. Also, it resonates to me the word confidentiality, which is really, really striking for all of us to be really professional, respect for student dignity, and fairness and integrity. With all of these things, Dr. Nildz has a very good scenario that will be given to you that really hits all of these points that you have mentioned. Right, Dr. Nildz?
Yes, and thank you so much for those additional information. And one thing that I also like what you said, additional something that I'd like to share is what Reverend Paula says about global educators. So as educators, as professional, we need to make sure that we have an open mind, open heart, open soul. That's what I'm always saying, an open spirit. Because if we're gonna be, be an updated, or I said we have to reach out to our students. One way to be a professional is make sure that we balance everything, and that's where I think where we become a model to our students. But before we go on to the next question, Ma'am Cora, we would like to have a short break and thank our advertiser for our teacher talk live Chikahan. Okay, so we will be back in a few minutes, in a few seconds or minute. Thank you.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories, from elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits. I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
All right, we're back. We're back.
Yes, and of course we were talking about professional ethics, and this time we're gonna give a scenario, and I will put Reverend Paula on the spot. Okay, so scenario. Okay, how should an educator respond when a student shares sensitive personal information that could impact their safety, balancing the ethical duty of, again, confidentiality with the responsibility to use their authority appropriately? And I would like to have this answered by Reverend Paula.
Well, when a student, or even for me, a student, or even for me, it could be a parishioner. And I've, had lots of training on this type of thing. Especially, I do some work with a group home, a children's group home. And it's really important to understand these people these young people especially have come from some pretty bad circumstances. So when they share information that suggests possible harm to themselves or to others, such as abuse, neglect, threats, self-harm, or severe emotional distress, the educator's first duty is to protect the student's safety and honoring trust as much as possible. So some of the steps you should take, first, listen very calmly and empathetically. Try to stay composed. Try to avoid reacting with shock or anger, etc. The main thing to do is acknowledge them. I hear you, and I'm glad you told me. That sounds really hard. Thank you for trusting me. Those are some words you should say. Then acknowledge the limits of confidentiality early on and gently. Things like, because I care about your safety, I may need to share some of what you've told with me to people who can help keep you safe. So you're maintaining respect, but also some things you have to report to authorities, and teachers are trained on doing this. I know you guys get lots of training on this, and so have I. So clarify only what is necessary for safety. Ask gentle questions, things like, are you feeling safe right now? Has this happened recently? And, you're not the investigator, you're not the counselor. In fact, you may have to get people in who are trained more on this. And determine whether it's mandated reporting is required. You may have to go to your principals, your counselors, your social workers. Make sure you're following, correct child protection or law enforcement rules and to agencies. And remember, that's not betraying their trust. It's an ethical and legal obligation to protect those students. And then, of course, you got to report things through appropriate channels. There may be school procedures you need to follow, forms you got to fill in. There may be a ethics or privacy officer, or the counselors and social workers often is that type of thing. And only share information as needed. You've got to be sure that confidentiality, those privacy things are respected, and document this conversation very accurately, and what was said, not what you think or what you've figured out. It is about factual information. This is the same thing I do as an HR professional and have to do when I'm investigating things like sexual harassment cases. So then support the student after you're reporting. Reassure the student you're taking action, that you are trying to help them. I'm going to, things like you can say, I'm going to make sure someone who can help you hears about this, so you don't have to carry this all alone. And don't promise them things, because you don't know what can happen and what's going to happen. And treat the student with dignity and care in the classroom. And then, of course, you got to always maintain the confidentiality beyond that with time, and don't discuss this situation with other students or coworkers or parents unless they're directly involved. And then, of course, protect totally that student's privacy within the school community. So things like being confidential and getting the right authority and responsibility, and acting especially when safety is a risk, is extremely important in this type of situation.
I will say amen to that. Thank you. But I mean, it says everything. I mean, maybe we can have a handbook. I like what you said, right, Mom Cora? It's specific and nailed down, like safety, confidentiality, dignity, authority. Those words are important because these are sensitive information. And the best way for us as a teacher, just like what you said, an educator, is to make sure that our student, whoever we're going to be counseling or coaching, knows that we care for them. What do you think, Ma'am Cora?
It is really an eye-opening for us, especially those who are new teachers. Rev, a lot of districts here in Texas are hiring international teachers, and when they come in, I will not promise, and for sure, that what you've said was not given to them, or is not given to them or introduced. When they come in, they will straight go to training, but the training is all about academic and curriculum. But there was no training in my 39 years of teaching. There was no training given about what you have said. That is why those new teachers who come in here after semester, they are engaged with this type of issues that you have said, because they did not know. They did not know. So I think those people those professionals and those teachers who are watching us right now, especially those who are new, you have heard it from Reverend Paula. These are necessary things that you need to know. And when you come, don't just sit there and enjoy, since this is your first time in the United States, enjoy the outside, go shopping. Sit down, go to the TEA, Texas Education Agency, and read it. What are the things that you can do and you cannot do? And I hope one of these days, Rev, we could invite you to be our speaker for our new teachers who are coming here, and then you could explain what you just shared with us today, and you will help a lot.
That would be fun.
Yes. Okay. So thank you so much for that sharing, and it is really, really an eye-opening for most of our teachers right here, since they are coming from a different background, different culture, and America is different. The education system is different, although we thought that it's the same, but there are cultures that we need to know, and there are laws and policies that we are professionally liable for things that we have not done. Okay, so
Miss Cora, may I just share something?
Go ahead.
Relative to what Rev has shared, it's also nice hearing those things from her, from from her perspective there in America. But let me just share a little thing about the setting in the Philippines when it comes to confidentiality and all those things that she mentioned. As far as I could remember, ever since I was a student in the Philippines, I studied in private Catholic schools. There has been a close coordination between the guidance office, the guidance counselors, and the classroom teacher. In the sense that when things are, this is as a student, from the point of view of a student, ever since I could remember, and when I entered different schools, different Catholic schools also, as a teacher, I am very blessed. I am very fortunate to have been given the chance of having really a close coordination. Miss Cora, you mentioned that there was no training for new teachers, but I remember back in CSA, I was batchmate of Maria Cecil Morante Teros. We were batchmates in Colegio San Agustin, where I also met Miss Cora. And I remember in the summer, in the inset program, there is even a simulation where we are to consult students, because the touch base is always the classroom teacher, and then we cascade matters to the guidance counselors as necessary. And as mentioned by Rev, it's a need to know basis. Like if they need to know, we tell them, and really assure the students that everything will be handled with confidentiality, even in terms of telling the parents, reporting the matter to the parents in the event that they do not know about it. So yeah, at least in the Philippines, that's the thing. I thought in 3 private Catholic schools, all all of these would include not just CSA that I mentioned, but in all schools that I have been to, Saints Coy included, my alma mater in college, Don Bosco Technical Institute in Makati, and then Colegio San Agustin. So yeah, so that you just have a background in terms of the Philippine setting.
Mildred, thank you for saying that.
Mm,
You know what?
mm,
That will segue me to the question I'm going to ask you. Actually, you
yes.
already given a tidbit,
Introduction.
but
Mm,
I will give you the question. Now, here it is.
mm.
What steps should an educator take if they arrive late to a collaborative meeting with the colleagues? Okay,
Mm.
knowing their tardiness affects team planning, trust, relationship, trust, and overall professionalism. Okay, so you arrive late. So what would you tell your colleague?
Miss
Come
Cora,
on.
before I answer that, let me just give my own definition of punctuality or slash tardiness in that case. I've always been a believer that punctuality has nothing to do with just being on time, like what you mentioned in meetings or maybe even going to your classes. But to me, punctuality is even, it goes beyond that, like even submission of requirements in our case. You know, it's not just also coming on time, but to me also, I'm not the most punctual person, but I'm a stickler for punctuality. And what I mean to say is it's also not coming just on time, but coming ready. You know what I mean? Like when you come, even if you're just the nick of time, but not late, but not also very early. It's not always very early, because what we think about tardiness is, oh, you're late. But we can always just say, oh, you're just early. But the thing is, I may not be the earliest, but I come prepared. Like in that case, if it's in a meeting and that would affect the entire team, to me, and this does not apply to me as a person, because I will not, surely I will not be able to do that, or I have not experienced being late in a meeting, except if there is really a reason that is beyond my control. But in the event that the reason for coming late is within your control, like, oh, for example, the most common would be because of the traffic situation, etc., or there was an emergency at home. We have to define that kind of emergency, and the step would be to first to be remorseful. Okay, the most important thing is to be remorseful about coming late, apologize, explain probably in a very briefly why you're late, but move on. Like, you have to, at least if you came if you came late, the least that you could do is to be ready with whatever is needed. You should have done your assignment at least, but coming late and then at the same time not being prepared, I think that's double jeopardy. That's double whammy on that end. Did I answer your question, Miss Cora?
Yeah.
Miss Cora,
The
you
thing
remember?
is,
You remember when we were together? Like we were always, coming in late. Like I remember one sister in my alma mater would say, I was about to do second reading for my baccalaureate mass, and she goes, "De Guzman, you'll be late in your own funeral." Like, but I said, but sister, I'm not late. Traffic is really heavy outside. But I came in late. But when I did the reading, I should have done it as if I did not come like running to the baccalaureate math. You know what I mean? So yes, that's it. Especially if it affects the entire team.
Mildred, here in our planning session, if the call time is 2:30 and you arrive 2:30, you're late. That's late here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you are in the
It has to
parking
be
lot
early.
at
Yeah.
2:30, at 2:30, and you come to the room, you're late. Whatever it is.
Miss Cora, you remember our efficiency time? Like you're not
Yes.
efficient if you come. The official time is 7:30, but efficiency time is 7:25, 7:30, like that.
Yeah, we have learned our lesson, and we really adapt to the changes that we have here. If it is, well, the American time is American time.
Yes,
Rev,
yes.
Rev, do you know here? Well, I'm not generalizing, but there is a culture that in a Filipino community, if the call time is 12:30, people will arrive 12:30, 12, 1 o'clock, 2
I
o'clock.
don't
Yeah.
know what. My children are half Mexican, so
Yeah.
yeah. If you come on time, people are like, "Why are you here? I'm still getting dressed."
But we have changed. We have changed. We were able to adapt professionally. If the call time
Yeah.
is 7 o'clock, everybody comes on 7 o'clock. So it's a struggle for us, but definitely we adapted ourselves on that thing. Okay.
And Miss Cora, can I just say that my last employment, at least, I had a taste of corporate life. I worked at John Robert Powers as an English learning program director, and our president is an American. So that way we all learned how to not follow the Filipino time. That's where I'm really happy he's there, because you teach everyone. All of us are Filipinos except him.
That's right.
But
That's
he's the president,
professionalism. Okay. So, Dr. Niels?
No, I'm just because I'm overwhelmed with all the time that you're talking about this. The step that we have to do if we come late arriving in our meeting. Well, we have our Filipino time and we have American time, and I have improved myself. My husband knows that because he's an American. He's So I have improved myself. So I will make sure that I'll be there 30 minutes early, and I will leave whatever we have an appointment 30 minutes after. So I want to make sure that make sure that professionalism is there. And because, we are a role model to our students. Remember, they're looking on us on how we do things. So, okay. Again, in line with all these things, we're talking about professional ethics, our collaboration with our colleagues. Now let's talk about the social graces. And I know everybody have, early in life, we have been trained by our parents and this has been about social graces. So my question is directed to both you, Mildred, and Reverend Harvey. But of course, we'll have Reverend Harvey first. So how do social graces such as respect, courtesy, and communication impact relationship within the school and community? Let's have Reverend Harvey first. Thank you.
All right. Well, social graces like respect, courtesy, and thoughtful communication are not just nice habits. They are the foundation, I would say, cornerstone of healthy relationships. In schools and communities, they shape how people feel and how conflicts are handled. and how trust is built over time. So, you can't have RESPECT, respect, without the foundation of trust. It means treating them with dignity, rights, and worth, regardless of their role, their background, or behavior. So in the classroom, teachers have to listen to students without dismissing them. Students have to address each other and staff with care, and even if they disagree, and everyone's voice is valued in discussions and decisions. And with your family and in your communities, you have to build partnerships. Educators have to honor their parents' knowledge and of their children. And schools have to engage community members as partners rather than just recipients of services. So you have to be open, you got to be honest, you got to take risks in, teaching them things, etc., but doing it politely and with integrity. And you got to collaborate on solutions. So you have to realize, being courtesy is the language of goodwill, and courteous and being is the language of goodwill, and that it's just your everyday expression of respect and polite words and small acts of kindness and attention to how our behavior affects others. And then the more you have good communication, the more connections and clarity happen, and it prevents from having conflicts, and it builds more transparency and trust with others. It supports inclusion, and it strengthens school and community partnerships. So I think all of those are important because you've got to make your students feel valued and safe. The teachers and staff have to be cooperative with each other, and you'll have less burnout and less problems with that. And then families need to be active partners. I remember going to a lot of those teacher-parent meetings, and the parents just sat back and said, "Don't ask me to do anything," and the teachers are like, "We need your help." So you have to cultivate that. It's really important. And then community members, then they'll see the school as a positive, trustworthy presence in their neighborhoods, and they'll be more willing to do things and help out, because we know resources are fewer and less, and it's all based on financial things. And so you have to get those school systems to be respected, so that the people out there who can financially help will be willing to do so.
Awesome. That's awesome. Can we go to Mildred, and then we're gonna have some kind of feedback on that. Thank you so much, Reverend Harvey. That is awesome. And I like what you have said regarding, language. Courtesy is the language of dignity. But we're going to circle back, and we'll ask Mildred. Mildred, how about you?
Yes, I will have to agree to everything that Rev Deacon Paula mentioned. To me, I like it when she said at the beginning that these are not professional ethics, for example, or etiquette, social graces. They do not have to be just nice habits, a list of nice habits, because we have a lot of that. Like it could be like from dining etiquette, it could be like even managing our personal spaces, in dealing with our colleagues, in terms of being professional with how we talk, active listening, interaction. But to me, it's just basic courtesies. It's just basic courtesies because this is our general guidelines for our daily interaction, no matter who are we interacting with. So basically, we just have to make sure that everybody is respected. To me, in a nutshell, it would be demonstrating this kind of positivity in terms of how we care about other people. In Filipino, we call it's simply malasakit. It's also thinking about others, because as what my mentor in John Robert Powers would say, if we have a positive self-awareness, then it's about other awareness. If we care about other people, it's always putting ourselves in the shoes of other people. Like, how would I react if this is done to me? So it's simply following the golden rule. You do not do unto others what you do not like others do unto you. Like, if that will be I know that's very simplistic, but it's really not. It's easier said than done, right? So if we will only follow that as our general guideline for our daily interactions, I guess we will really be able to establish and impact positive relationship in our school community.
That's awesome. Yes, Ma'am Cora, any
Yeah, Mildred, Doctor, Reverend Harvey, your statement is really aligned with each other. We're talking of two people here, and yet the constant mentioning of the word courtesy, the language of goodwill, the respect, the malasakit or the caring for others. I mean, you are right. We don't need the word professionalism on this thing. It is just the value of being, of caring to others, right? Like what we said, if you, in the Bible, we said, if you did it to the least of your brother, you did it to me, right? So I
Mhm.
think that that generalizes everything. Even if we don't have label, we just internalize these words and we're gonna be we're gonna be good, right? Not only good, but an excellent individual. And I have run out of words with what you have just said, and it is very, very empowering for us to just listen to both of you. Thank you, and
I don't
Sure.
think any of us would have gotten into this
yes,
and gotten to be educators if we didn't care and love our fellow human beings. Because that's the whole reason. That's why anyone becomes an educator, is because we
Yeah.
feel that we have something to give to them and we want to teach them things, but we care and love our human beings. And that's why we're doing it. And that's why I'm a deacon too.
well, I've
That's
heard
true.
that
That's
from
true.
what Bishop said during your
Yeah.
graduation.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yes,
with
yes.
all of this said, now I would like to ask Rev, what would be your recommendation? Uh, what recommendation do you take when a classroom activity unintentionally exclude or misrepresent a student's cultural background, in order to respond to with courtesy, respect, and culturally responsive adjustment that promotes inclusion and a sense of belonging? What would be your recommendation?
Well, I think, the most important response is to acknowledge the issue honestly and repair trust with care and adjust practice in ways that you are committed to inclusion. It's just that's not about fixing the activity, or it's about modeling humility, respect, and the willingness to learn. So step one would be to pause and reflect internally first. And before responding, publicly, identify what was wrong. Notice your own feelings and how you're feeling about this too. Then step two would be address the issue directly and respectfully in the classroom. Name the concern without over explaining things. You said, I realize that this activity, we did include some of the cultures represented in our room. And in one part, we may have portrayed something inaccurately. So then center that respect and learning. It doesn't match the reality of our students and the cultures we're studying, and I want to do better. And part of learning is noticing that when we miss something, and I appreciate this as a chance to learn with you. And so then also you need to avoid blaming or minimizing anything. Just say, don't say it was a small thing or don't think it didn't matter. You just instead show that you cared about the accuracy, fairness, and belonging. And then finally, you need to start inviting students' voices and perspectives. Says, if you're uncomfortable, can you share how this activity might have felt from your background? And what could we have done to be more respectful and be more accurate? And then as the children share, then say, thank you for sharing that. I hear you and I appreciate your honesty. And then, adjust the activity in the future with cultural responsiveness. Correct any misrepresentations, add missing perspectives, increase the flexibility, etc. And then, of course, if needed, you should follow up with families and community members. And then finally, and most importantly, I think, remember, this is a learning point for your own growth. You know, as you're planning things for the future, you know, who did I include? Who didn't I include? You know, seek ongoing learning. I read things from all over the world. I like to read, I speak fluent Dutch, so I read Dutch magazines and things like that. I read in Spanish too, and I read and I watch shows on Univision and various things so that I understand that perspective. You know, I have friends from all over the world. My walking buddies, one is Chinese and Buddhist. The other walking buddy that I have at work is from India, and he is Muslim. And so those perspectives help to ground me and understand things from my own Christian perspective and be inclusive and caring of those people. And so it's important. And then build feedback as a habit. Regularly ask students, families, how they feel in the classroom climate, how the representation, you know, join professional groups where you take you out of your comfort zone so you do understand people that are different than you. You don't need to be in a homogenized place all the time. Understand, I mean, the friendships that I've built with Ma'am Cora and her husband have been amazing for me. I have we have another one of my classmates that's from Peru, and the Hispanic mission that he's doing, and those things make me a better person. And understand, and trying to. My mother's was an educator and was a professor and a librarian, and she always said, never judge a person until you've walked in his moccasins for 2 weeks.
That's true.
I grew up in Oklahoma, close to the Indian tribes, so we talked a lot about American Indians. And so it is important. Don't judge someone until you've walked in their shoes. And always model those values that you want to teach by owning any mistakes, listening and showing respect, adjusting things as you learn from them, and then always inviting input, because we can always learn. I believe in being a lifelong learner, and we make mistakes. We're humans. It's okay.
That's
right. Move on.
That's right. That's a very good reflection, Rev. I really admire the way you have itemize all of those things that we need to know. Okay, so glad you have said all of those. Thank you. Okay, so Dr. Nildz.
Thank you so much, Reverend Harvey. You know what? We always says about how we are going to be being proficient in understanding of our courtesy, respect, and of course, being culturally responsive in our teaching practices. So whatever the sharing that you have shared to us right now is, making sure that we understand one another. We also respect inclusive learning where, we have diversity, respect. And I like it, and I admire you. You are a global educator, you can do everything. You can understand, read, and be able to, I will say, relate to everyone. And that's good. And I think as an educator, we should have, again, as I shared earlier, open mind. We need to be able to, like a sponge, absorb and learn, reflect. And I like what you said about reflection. I think that's most important. We pause, reflect at the end of the day, being a teacher, and, make sure that, did we do something that we need to correct? And the next time, do we need to improve ourselves? And not only ourselves here also, because I always understand that when we have communication, it's the foundation of, building that relationship with our students, our colleagues, our families, and the community around us. So thank you so much. And with that, I'm gonna transition to the next question, which is for Mildred. So with this, Mildred, how can educator respond professionally and constructively to abrupt or unclear emails from colleagues? What do you think, Mildred?
Wow.
All right. First, okay. Very recently, I gave a talk on polished and professional communication, and that includes dealing with colleagues, professional communication with colleagues. First of all, let's put some context to that. In college, I taught business communication, and one thing that I thought my students would be, anything done in writing becomes a legal document. Like it's something that since you have the time to think about it, to compose it, you have the luxury of time to edit your work, etc. Like, think before you click, that's the first thing. So if the scenario is you're saying, Doc Mills, is I am the receiver of an email that was sent abruptly and it's unclear, uh, something vague or ununderstandable, perhaps I would I would think about how I'm going to respond, because if I respond immediately without thinking also of what should I be saying, like, I need to wait. I need to use the word wait. I have to consider also the context of how it is being said. Like, is she pressed with time because it's unclear, or is she herself confused of how is it too urgent that it needs to be sent abruptly? And in that case, maybe I will just have to articulate. I will just have to express also what I find unclear about it. The abrupt thing, if I find it abrupt, I will give her the benefit of the doubt to explain it to me, to give me the context of why it is sent abruptly. Like, is it emergency? Is it urgent? Is it something that has to be dealt with right now, right here? So if that's the case, then I guess I will have to tell her, because if the scenario is I could talk to her immediately also, like I could use the phone for it, I believe that there is a right channel for it. Like, if she is at reach, like, if I don't need to email her back and she's just maybe a few cubicles away, perhaps it's good to see her in person, because I believe that there are certain channels that we should be using, different communication channels that we should be using appropriately. Like, the best example that I would use would be, you don't tell your partner or your boyfriend or girlfriend that, this is over, this is, relationship over, through a text message or via email. But you have to do it in person. So if it is immediate, perhaps if the reason for the abrupt email is because it's something that has to be dealt with immediately, then maybe the best thing to do is see her in person, talk to her about the content of the email itself, so that you see each other, so that the response is immediate. That's the beauty of, because I guess you use only the email if you are distance away from each other. But if you want to really bridge communication, you want to do it fast, if she's just, a few steps away from you, a few office, a few doors away from you, then perhaps seeing her in person would give it a better, would make you understand each other better in terms of how you'd like to get your message across, or your email itself, the content of the email itself.
Very
That's
good.
right.
I agree with you. If this is something like, something that you cannot kind of, email back response right away,
Yes,
maybe
yes,
kind of reflection on how you say your response. The same with you,
yes,
that I'll rather go to that person or call the
yes,
person
yes.
rather than emailing. Again, we emphasize respectful communication. We have to clarify everything. We need to make sure that, they have constructed problem solving. And that way, we show professionalism and respect to our, not only to educators, but to the person we are responding in our
And
email.
also,
So,
Doc Neil,
yes.
if I may just add, I would also tell everyone, not just teachers, not just my colleagues, not just my students, that walang emosyon ang text or ang email. I mean, it's emotionless in the case of, it doesn't have emotion. Like, it can be interpreted many ways. Like, it's subject to many interpretations. So you don't have to conclude right away that this is what she meant. So give it some kind of a context. I think that's very important.
Yes, and there will be times we're gonna be misinterpreted. So we rather have direct conversation, which is maybe
Yes,
because there will be sensitive matters where you would like to say, but when you email it, it might have a different tone or meaning when that person receive that communication, right? It makes it more.
The punctuation itself, the
I'm gonna
punctuation itself might, might create a different kind of interpretation, right?
I'm gonna
That's why I
ask.
tell them be careful about punctuations, because you might just be saying good morning or hello, but it can be like hello sarcastically, right? Like hello.
Can I say something? Uh, I would like I would like to pick up what Paula said. Let's be a global educator. Now, if you're going to send your email, make sure you use AI and ask AI
It corrects
to
everything.
give you uh, a sentence or a statement that is polite, professional. Okay, and AI will help you on that before you click that you are not thinking.
I'm hoping that AI will work with text messages soon.
That's right. That's right. Okay. It is really indeed a good discussion, but let's read our viewers' comment on our Facebook. Okay. So, Jewel, do we have anything at all? Okay. So, we have Emmy Cadaves. Hello,
Yes.
Ate Nildz and Ate Cora. I'm in South Padres Island. Hello, Emmy. Thank you for watching us.
That's in Brownsville. That's I think that's the last border of Texas down there on the south. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then from Phaedra, love your stream. I'd like to join when you go live. Oh, we're live right now.
We're live right now.
We're live. We're not recording. Okay.
Faith, Faith, let us know. Let us know, and we could add you.
Yes.
Okay. So we have NJ Bakani. I make sure always arrive 10,
Yeah.
30 minutes before the meeting time. It's okay if I wait, but I don't want people to wait for me.
Yes. Yes.
That's professional. Yeah.
Yes.
Here she goes again. Hi, everyone. Have you ever experienced a situation where a student confided in you about personal issue and asked you not to tell anyone? How should a person respond while fulfilling your responsibility? I'll throw it to Reverend Paula and then Mildred. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if it's something gonna, like I said earlier, if it's something that's gonna cause harm, you're gonna have to address it. You have to decide how much confidentiality. And I as an HR professional, very often I have to tell them, if you do something that's going to harm the company, I have to handle it. Same thing if it's going to harm the school, going to harm the classroom, it's going to harm whatever. You have to make those decisions and say, I appreciate you wanting to have this confidential, but this is something that is harmful and I must act on it. And just be honest about it.
Yes, thank you so much.
That's
There are
right.
some situations where we don't have to say it to everyone, or there are also situations where we have to report it. Thank you so much, Reverend. Yes,
Do we
Reverend.
still have one more, Jewel? And then we're going to proceed to our open-ended question because we're running out of time now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mildred. Mildred, do you want to say something very short?
Okay.
That situation.
No, I just like to reiterate what Rev Deacon Paula already mentioned, that I guess you just have to really make sure that first, because she trusted you with that information, maybe acknowledge that thank you for trusting me with your story. Just assure them that you are someone that they could really trust, because for all you may be the only person he or she thinks she could trust, right? So it happened to me once. I had a college student who confided that she actually has uh, an extra job on the side after school. Like she it's a little sensitive. It's a little sensitive because she's like a professional escort. Like that's what she does for a living on the side, because she has to support herself. and to college. And when she started not coming to school on time, when it affected her academic performance on my end, I had to tell her, okay, thank you for trusting me with your story, but this is the deal. You just come to class because it has to do with punctuality to coming to class. She has a lot of absences already, missing a lot of quizzes and requirements. And I said, I will give you a passing mark just so you come to final exams. And what she didn't know was that I already told the guidance office about her story. And I told them to deal with it professionally. And she dropped already. So I totally lost touch about her and even the school entirely. So, but in that case, yes, even in college, even for college students, that's what we do. At least here in the Philippines, that's what we do. Or at least where I thought it's a private school, but it's not Catholic. That's the only university or college that I did not, that's not Catholic. It's private. And but still in all, I like it that they have that kind of program for students where the guidance office really, guidance and counselors really are in touch with the students, and they really still monitor them even if they are in college. But it's just bad that the student dropped out and we totally lost touch with her.
Well, I hope now, if she's watching, she will remember you, Mildred, and I think she will
Yes,
be
yes.
thankful for what you have done to
Yes.
her.
Or
And
sometimes, Miss Cora, I would simply just tell my own story. Like one student came to me and said, "You know what, Miss Mildred, I regret it that, I gave my virginity already. I gave up my virginity to a boyfriend who's not worth it. And then we split up." And then I started telling my own story. And now she's happily married. It inspired, my story inspired her when I told her that, I'm a proud virgin at 35. Like when I married my husband, I'm a proud virgin, and she said, "Wow, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful, Miss Mildred. And I hope I could do that with my next boyfriend." And she did. She's just married now, and she has moved on.
okay,
So I guess
that's
it's simply telling them stories that inspire,
yeah.
and that alone will do. You don't have to really tell people about it, give them extraordinary advice, biblical, etc. You just have to say your own story. And I guess if it's inspiring enough,
That's what you
then
call modeling, right?
yes.
Modeling. Okay. So thank you for sharing, Mildred. It's a lot of information and a lot of lesson to learn. So we are out of our time already. We are very, very thankful. But before we end, let us do our traditional open-ended response. Go ahead, Dr. Nils.
Okay, so what we normally do, thank you, Ma'am Cora, is we always have to have an open-ended. So, for example, okay, I am, you want to say your name, and then I demonstrate my professionalism and social grace by or through. So I will start it, Ma'am Cora, and you're going to be next, okay, and then our guest, okay. So I am Dr. Niels, and I demonstrate my professionalism and social grace by treating every person with respect, listening with empathy, leading with integrity, and building meaningful relationships. So let's have Reverend Harvey.
Okay, I am Paula Harvey, deacon of the Episcopal Church, and I demonstrate my professionalism and social graces by or through being my authentic self and caring for my fellow human beings, and doing that through inclusion, integrity, and love of others.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, Miss Mildred. Thank you.
My turn.
Yes.
I'm Mildred de Guzman San Agustin, a 50-something teacher, and I demonstrate my professionalism and social graces by being aware of how my appearance, how my language, and how my behavior will impact other people.
Very good.
About
Okay.
you, Ma'am Cora. Do you want to
My
share something?
turn. I am Cora Flores. uh, president, not president. That is just myself. Okay, I am I am the director of the global director of the United Federation of Filipino American Educators globally, and I demonstrate my professionalism and social graces by showing who am I to others in faith, in good words, and in good deeds. I am also showing it through my belief of cultural responsiveness and respect of other people's view. Amen. That's it.
Thank you so much. You know what? I always say it every time we part ways, because this is a very interesting conversation we have, especially with our guest that's really professional and on their own successful educators, not only here in the United States but around the world. And that also goes for you, Miss Mildred Guzman, because you've been all over. You wear many hats. The same thing with Reverend Harvey. But the thing that we have here in common is we always respect and we always care about our students and our colleagues and our school community. And in fact, not only that, we also extend it to where
Outside.
we are, outside we are communicating. And we're so we're so blessed that you join us. These are things that we're always thankful, Mom Cora and I. As an educator, we can reach out to all levels in our levels of our people in our society. But then again, we would like to request for a short closing remarks or anything that you want to share, compliments, greetings. We're going to start with Mildred. Might be a long list.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you, Miss Nils, and of course Miss Karen and everyone else in Lawin production. Lawin, how do you call that? Your
Media
production. So
Media.
yeah, Lawin Media for this opportunity. Well, in spite of my challenges these days and this week, to begin with, but really I'm thankful. I'm also thankful about being guested with Reverend Deacon. I picked up a lot of wonderful things from her. I hope to be able to really have some more Tea moments with her bantering, because this is really she's really so passionate. The same with our two ladies here, our hosts. I really salute them for this. So just a word for everyone else. Like, professionalism is something that is really challenging these days, for many teachers, not just here in the Philippines, not just there in America, but globally. But I guess the bottom line is really just going back to basics, and that is, caring for other people. It's simply put, it's caring for other people. I do it. I follow the rules. I follow the standards. I follow the ethics simply because I care. Thank you very much. And I care, my fellow teachers.
Thank you.
Yes, Reverend Harvey.
Thank you very much for inviting me, especially Cora, because I've known her and her husband for the last 3 years. And I appreciate the Lawin Media Network for hosting this and putting this together. I didn't know I was getting into this, but this was fun, and I really, really enjoy it. Having educators as my parents. My father was a professor, my mother also. So it's very near and dear to my heart. Plus, I guess educator adjacent with what I do as a trainer and a teacher in the human resources field, and then what I'm doing what I will be doing as a deacon. So I appreciate you guys having me, and I wish you well, and especially Mildred, as you are dealing with your mother-in-law, and that for your family, that prayers to you and your family.
Okay. So thank you so much. Guys, if you want to watch this show again, you can go to YouTube and just type Teacher Talk of July the 4th, and then Lawin Media Network. You could also watch this Lawin Media Network Teacher Talk on Facebook, and we also have Instagram, I believe. Okay, so
Yeah.
this social media, you could clip it, you could store it, you could send it to your friends, so you could they could watch you and let them know how your thoughts really change and make a difference in our community. So we also have announcement, right? So
Mom Cora, excuse me,
mhm,
before that, let's have a photo taken because I know
yes,
our guests are going to be in a hurry, especially Mildred. It's what time? 11, 12
yeah.
o'clock?
It's
Yes.
my 11 o'clock here.
Okay, let's have a picture taken together, a group photo. Yes, Mom Cora?
Okay,
Would you?
one, smile. Okay,
Thank
got
you so
it.
much. Yes, Reverend Harvey, may I request that you include us into your prayer, Ma'am Cora and I, and the teacher talk, that we might touch, a lot of lives, and this will be a venue for others to see that, as a teacher, just like what Miss Mildred says, we care and we hear and we love everyone. Thank you. Yes, Ma'am Mildred, Ma'am Cora.
So we have our announcement coming in. Jewel, do we have there you go. So I am calling all Philippine Normal University alumni. We are going to have our fifth Grand International Reunion on July 25th to 26th at New Orleans Hotel, French Quarter Ballroom, Tropical Avenue, Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you are interested, you can message me in my Facebook, and then I will give you more details on this one. Thank you so much. We will see you. First of all, before I forget, the batch, Mildred, uh, Reverend Paula, the batch that will schedule or sponsor this event will is batch 66. I was born
Wow.
65. I wasn't walking yet, but they were already teaching. So they are the ones responsible
Oh,
for this. That's why I am really, really excited to see them. And also we have, Jewel, there's another one, the International Conference. There you go. So the United Federation of Filipino American Educators will have its international summit. This will be on August 14 to 17 at Cagayan de Oro, Philippines. The theme is Educators as Change Makers, Redefining Learning in a Borderless World. So lahat po ng nasa Pilipinas, all teachers there, you are invited to join. Just let me know again in my Facebook page, Cora Flores, and I will help you enroll on this one. Okay? Thank you, and we'll see you there.
good
Yes, maybe
morning.
Mildred would like to be a part of this. And before we end, again, I would like to thank the Lawin Network, Attorney Eileen Bizan, Jewel, our production staff, our sponsors like Christian Tolentino and Pinoy Law Firm. And of course, a big thank you to our followers. Shout out to the Golden Girls of Brownsville, Texas, especially Mommy D and the wonderful ladies. Thank you also for my cousin. He's watching, Christian De Vera from Florida. Thank you. From the Philippines, Norin Soriano, Marlene Alceo. And of course, we thank you for your continued support, positivity, and energy truly, and your energy that truly brightens our community. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. And of course, I want to have our Bible verse that we always do it at the closing, which is Colossians 3:12. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Thank you so much. Mom Cora.
Thank you so much. Also, Rev, thank you. I can't find any words to say thank you to you, and also to you, Mildred. We are
You're
extending
welcome
our,
anytime.
our condolences and thank
Yes.
you sa inyong lahat. Sa lahat ng mga Agustinians, to all Agustinians out there, thank you for who we are now, Mildred and I, because you have been part of our journey as educators. Thank you. And we are inviting you on our next episode, which will be on August the 1st. Our new episode will be governance and leadership. We want to tell you that we are not only teachers, but we are also leaders in our own community.
Yes.
We are inviting you to see us and join our meeting on the 1st of August. And we will see how active we are as a Filipino community here in United States.
Thank you and mabuhay.
Happy
Happy 4th of July.
Yes, blessed 4th of July and enjoy.
July. Okay, thank
May
you.
the 4th be with you.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Rep.